Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you guys for coming. I'm actually glad I got the opportunity to stand up and not sit down. So my part today was to speak to the folks in the room, to let the folks in the room know what their importance is and what their involvement can be in this case. And with that being said, I just want to speak to each and every one of you here right now. If you have a child at home, you could have very well been Letitia. Your child did not have to be caught up in any of the things that Letitia's child was caught up in to be being Letitia. Victimizing Letitia and blaming Letitia and her family for where Gemmel life ended up with is just as wrong as the sheriff department pushing his death aside. My mom cares about me, but my mom does not know everything that I've been involved in. My mom raised me to be right and do the right things. She did not know everything that I was involved in. Just like Ashley said, my mom could have got a call plenty of times that your son died. But no, you did, Miss Letitia. And for that, I'm sorry. My main objective today, since being here, is to not only speak to the people in the room, but to speak to the news outlets here and to speak to the other people that might have contacts to news outlets. Gemmel's story is very important. It's just as important as any other victim, the Winston's victims, the actress that's coming forth. Gemmel's story is just as important. Just because he didn't have money, just because he was black, just because he was gay, just because he did whatever those newspaper articles say, there was 26 years that he belonged to somebody. There was 26 years of life on this earth that mattered to us, that mattered to his mom, that mattered to his community, and the news needs to tell his story. The news needs to tell his story because Gemmel's life is gone. Gemmel is no longer here. Those Winston victims, they get to go forward, they get to have their kids, they get to attend their weddings, they get to attend and have success in life. Gemmel will never, ever, ever get to do that again. Gemmel will never get to have somebody tell him, Buck is being brought to justice. Gemmel will never get to hug the other victims and say our story is being told. The actresses that were brought to assaulted by Winston, they all get together, talk about their stories, support each other. Gemmel didn't get that support. Gemmel went to the local sheriff department here asking for that support, and he was turned away. He was turned away by people that were put in a position to protect and serve. People to say, I don't care what you look like. I don't care what happened to you before you walked in that door. You walked in that door, you told me this happened to you, and now I'm going to help you. But those people turned him away, and today he's dead. There's a sheriff who is elected to office. I'm going to be the first to tell you, I'm never going to get tired. You're going to get tired of fighting me. You're going to get tired of seeing my faces at all of your rallies. You're going to get tired of me campaigning against you until Gemmel is brought Ed Buck is brought to justice. I'm going to show up at every campaign. I'm going to show up at every rally. I'm going to show up at every sheriff department. I'm going to make sure that everything you do is tampered with, just like this investigation was tampered with. I'm going to follow the district attorney. I'm going to campaign against him because he's campaigning against me because I am Gemmel. And every day that he sits on those dollars given to him by Ed Buck, every day that he fails to get in front of a news camera and say, Ed Buck is a person of interest. What Ed Buck is doing, what Ed Buck has did, and what Ed Buck has been accused of is wrong, and I'm going to make sure that it's brought to justice. It's an injustice to me, it's an injustice to Miss Letitia, and it's an injustice to Gemmel, and I'm going to show up. So while you're waiting, I'm waiting until it's time for you to be reelected. I'm waiting to scream at the top of my lungs to say no more. No more people like him get to sit in office. No more people like our governor gets to say, Ed Buck, keep paying me while you're killing black people. Keep paying me while you're experimenting on black people. I'm going to keep waiting until the Democratic Party wants me, a voice like me, to go out and knock on doors and say, come out and vote for this person. I'm going to wait until that time. While you want me to go knock on doors, I'm going to be knocking on doors and saying the Democratic Party needs to turn back in this money. The Democratic Party needs to take Gemmel's life just as serious as they took Hollywood's life. And our job as people that look like Gemmel, or people that care for people that look like Gemmel, is to ring the alarm on Ed Buck. We need to walk these neighborhoods. We need to, every opportunity we get, we need to put Gemmel's name on the table, and we need to tell people, now is the time to isolate Ed Buck. Now is the time to say, Ed Buck, you no longer have a welcome seat in society. You no longer have a welcome invitation to patrol the streets that young black men walk on. You no longer have a right to victimize young black boys. And that there's a special cell in prison waiting for you just for Gemmel. What he did to Gemmel was silence a voice. Because what the media does not want to tell you is Gemmel had begun to talk to his friends. Gemmel had began to talk to his father about exposing Ed Buck. Ed Buck paid for Gemmel to get to California. Ed Buck paid for Gemmel to get from the airport. And within 8 hours, Gemmel was dead. Ed Buck silenced Gemmel. Not only is Ed Buck a predator, I'm going to say what everybody else is scared to say. Ed Buck is a murderer. Ed Buck is a murderer. And the person he thought he silenced brought multiple voices to say no more. To say no more. And that's all I have to say today.